Hey everybody, Derek here. I'm here to bring you another video for the Walking Dead countdown to the Season 5 premiere. Today we are exactly 20 days away from the upcoming 5th season. We are getting close, folks. I am very excited to see what Walking Dead has to offer this season, and I'm really excited. I think we're going to have a lot of action, we're going to have a lot of suspense, and it's really going to be a great season. No doubt about it. So I'm very excited, and I hope that you all are too. And tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to be introducing my Walking Dead Walker Kill Count series. Um, One of the things that I've always wanted to do, and maybe some other people are interested in as well, is how many zombies, walkers, have been killed on the show since the very first episode. They kill quite a few walkers on the show, and I think that it would definitely be very interesting to do a count for each character to see, who's killed the most, who's killed the least, who's had the most variety, various different things that I'm looking at. And I just think that it would be interesting to go back right from the beginning, take a look, and see exactly how many we're at. I mean, I think that I know exactly how to count them. I have a set system right now that I've set up that I'm going to introduce to you guys tonight. So if you're interested in following along with this series that I have coming up, just let me know. I'll definitely be posting the videos within a relatively, probably within a few days. I'll be starting. I will be getting a video camera in order to record the actual kills and show you. And some of my videos will have an analysis along with it, whereas others don't. And that's just based on whether there's a lot of zombie kills versus not. Plus, the other thing is how clear are the kills versus how complex. Because sometimes you look at things and it's hard to tell who killed what or if it was a kill. And again, I have a set of rules that I'm going to explain to you guys tonight that may help out with how I do things and, basically set up how I'm going to go about this series. So I'm going to introduce that to you guys tonight. And I have a couple of rules that I use in order to help me determine the actual count. So number one is if a zombie is killed on screen, then it counts. So that's pretty simple. You see Rick shoot it with his python. You see Daryl shoot it with the crossbow. You see Glenn stab it with the machete, etc., etc. When you see it happening on screen, then it's a kill. It's obviously very clear. Some of those are very easy to spot, but there's others that are very much hidden. And I've watched several of the videos on YouTube of people that have put like all the zombie kills, and I applaud them for, doing a very good job. I mean, the thing is really how much are you paying attention? I mean, I think some of us are more concerned about what else is going on versus how many. I just am a little more, interested in how many zombies have been killed, and they've missed a couple, but they're hard to see. So it's not anything, not coming down on anybody at all. I think they've done a very good job. My series, though, is going to introduce those kills as well as ones that you may not have seen or counted. So I have very different ways about going about this to try to get the exact amount or close to it. So I'll explain a little bit more with the rest of these rules here. Now, rule number two that I have is if the walker death occurs off screen, but it occurs within the context of the series or the episode, then it's counted. Now, this may seem a little bizarre. What exactly does that mean? Well, there have been a couple times on Walking Dead where a zombie is killed, but you don't see it happen, but you know. And a couple of examples that I can share off the top of my head. In 18 Miles Out, when Rick and Shane go to drop Randall off, like there were those two police officer zombies, and Rick, cut his hand and put blood on the fence in order to draw the one. The other one was coming, and we see Shane pull the knife and cut his hand, but we don't actually see the zombie getting killed. But afterwards, when Rick is taking Randall away, plus when they were looking at the bodies, they found no bites. You know that zombie was killed. It didn't just not happen. So again, because of the fact that it happened, I want to count it because it happened within the course of the episode. We have a body that can identify that the zombie was killed. You know, you see it. So if there is certainty about that, then I want to count them because you want to have a complete, you know, list. It's kind of like if the villain's killed off screen in a movie and you open the door, and it's not like you would not count that as a kill, you know, in the movie or whatever the case may be. You're still going to count it. So I want to try to do that with The Walking Dead because what I find is people don't really count the off-screen ones when they actually do happen. So I want to try to add that to get a more complete count. Other examples of that are going to be like when Rick goes into the tombs. He says that he killed more than what we actually see, and I kind of want to do a little bit there. There were a couple of kills in Killer Within that happened off screen that I want to address, and a couple of other areas. So I want to try to address those in order to try to get a more complete count. So that's why I count those. But I'm not going to do something like when Bob said he's killed a couple dozen. That's before the show. I'm not gonna. Somebody says, yeah, I've killed 1,500 zombies. I'm not counting that. That's too, you know, outrageous and it's too before the show. So that's why I'm setting a limit there. But like I said, as we go along, I'll explain it a little more, and you might understand a little more about how that works. Number 3, I count beheadings as kills. Reason being is because A, otherwise Michonne wouldn't have as many kills. But B, the other reason is because you incapacitate the zombie so much that there's just really no way that it's ever going to be able to do anything again. Even though the head is still technically alive, you know, it's not going to be able to do anything. Unless you're walking around in the zombie apocalypse barefoot and you happen to step on the head, it's not going to be able to do anything else. The body's detached. So I do count beheadings in that. Now, if somebody would behead a zombie, but somebody else would kill the head, then I would give that person the kill versus the person that beheaded it. I wouldn't count it twice. And there is one such kill in the series, and I will show that and grant it appropriately. So again, we'll look into that later, but I do count beheadings as kills. Another thing that I count as a kill is if you incapacitate the zombie so much that it can't do anything. And what I'm mostly referring to there is when zombies are burned. Yes, does it really kill the zombie per se? Kind of like with beheading. No. You know, technically, yes, the head is still alive, but what we see is that, like, especially the ones in season 3, when Andrea tries to go back to the prison, she gets captured. Milton goes out and burns the zombies in the horse trailer and in the pit. And yeah, they're kind of still technically alive, but they're burnt to the point that they can't even get up and attack you. So I kind of count those as well because it's incapacitated the zombie so much to the point where it's practically dead. And I'm assuming that they will take care of the zombies, you know, that they probably, you know, clean the pit out, something like that. So that's why I count that. But if they just, you know, put a car on it and it's still alive, I'm not counting that. You know, and some of the kills later on in the series, they get a little bit harder to count. But again, I'm not gonna give out too much, you know, of those. Pretty much the only instance of that was when Milton burned those zombies in the pit. I technically count those as kills. Whether you don't or not is up to you. Again, I'm not asking anybody to totally endorse, you know, my count. You are free to disagree with me. This is the way that I view it and the way that I count it. So again, it's just an opinion. I'm not saying that I am absolutely positively right. You're allowed to have your opinion on this, but I'm just giving this out as an opportunity. If you've ever wanted to know exactly how many zombies were killed, could be your chance to find out. So that's pretty much why I'm throwing that out there. Again, you're allowed to have any opinion you want. And the last one that I have for counting purposes, if a group of people are shooting at zombies and it's impossible to tell who shot what, I just take the total amount of unknowns and give them to everybody. And a couple of examples of that are at the barn. There are a couple of zombies that get shot, that you just don't know who shot the gun. Most of them you can identify, but there's quite a few. Well, there's like a couple there where you can't tell if it was Shane, if it was T-Dog, if it was Glenn. So what I did was, just to be fair, was I molded all those kills and just gave them. So I just gave them to anybody that was shooting at the barn because I just don't know how else to do it. And I felt it was the fairest way to go about it. A couple of other examples are at the cornfield in season 4, episode 11, claimed. There are a couple of kills there that you can't tell if it was Rosita, Abraham, Eugene. It's hard to tell. So that's why I just mold those in. The biggest one is in season 4, episode 15, when they are One of Us, when they are in the tunnel. You have Abraham and Bob and Rosita and all of them shooting at the zombies with various different kinds of weapons. You had Sasha and Maggie in there as well. It's so dark and the bullets are spraying everywhere. You just can't tell who shot what. So it is kind of risky to do it that way because you don't really know how to proportion it. Because some of them were shooting machine guns and others were shooting pistols, but it doesn't mean that those guys killed more than you don't know. It's just impossible to do. So the fairest way to do it is to blend all those kills together and just give any unknown to anybody that was shooting at the group, because it's the only thing that I know how to do that makes it appropriate in that instance. So, and I'll have different columns in order to count those. So it'll definitely be very interesting to go about it, and I hope that several of you will join me in this. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Feel free to subscribe to this because I will have the videos coming out, and I really hope that you'll tune in. So again, thank you everybody. I am very excited for Walking Dead. 20 more days, and we will be watching the premiere. So thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.